All right, well, stopping terror before it reaches the homeland. That's the goal of Operation Pacific Viper, a joint effort between the Navy and Coast Guard to counter the influx of illegal drugs as part of Trump's cartel crackdown.
Just this week alone, the operation seized 5,500 pounds of cocaine northeast of the Galapagos Island. Since its inception in August, it has intercepted more than 75,000 pounds of cocaine and apprehended nearly 60 suspected narco-terrorists.
Texas Congresswoman Beth Van Duyne joins us now to discuss. Congresswoman, great to see you. So President Trump really changed the game by designating these cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. Talk about that and how that's changed things.
No, I think it's given a tremendous number of tools now that they can actually use to go after these cartel members, these cartel gangs that have been infiltrating our country for several years now, bringing in, pounds and pounds of fentanyl that has killed hundreds of thousands of Americans, that have, hurt children with human trafficking, with sex trafficking. And I think what you're seeing is the Trump administration recognizes the fact that it's a problem, is using the resources appropriately to go after it, and is actually creating deterrence to stop future attacks on our country's homeland. And looking at the work that they're doing at the border, it is a clear contrast between this administration and the previous administration.
Well, they know who the enemy is. I mean, the enemy are criminals. The enemy are not civilians. You had a great ex-post. You said the Biden administration gave us Operation Arctic Frost. That was the FBI's attacks on, or the DOJ's attacks on decent people like Turning Point USA. The Trump administration has Operation Pacific Viper. So it's a whole different change in focus. The Biden administration was looking inward towards decent Americans, and this administration is looking out towards the criminals.
Yeah, no, Operation Arctic Frost basically went after, these groups that disagreed with the Biden administration, that had a different idea of how to run the country, whether or not it was the Republican National Committee, or it was America First Policy Institute, or My Pillow Guy, or, as you mentioned, Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA. They were they were using law enforcement, FBI, DOJ, OIG, to go after those groups simply because they didn't agree with them politically, and they were attacking them. At the same time, the Biden administration was leaving our borders open, allowing tens of millions of illegal immigrants to flood into our country, including criminal illegal immigrants and terrorists, and allowing children to be sex trafficked, human trafficked, and again, fentanyl to be brought into our country that killed over 200,000 Americans. Now flip that and contrast that to what the Trump administration is doing, which is exactly what it was elected to do. It is going after these cartel members. It is using every tool in the toolbox to be able to attack them before they can kill more innocent Americans. This is exactly why I think the Trump administration, it was such a powerful message in November, why we were able to get the House, the Senate majority, as well as the White House, and that's going to continue because they're doing exactly the job that they told the American people that they were going to do, which is why they got elected in the first place.
But yet he's getting attacked for saving lives.
Yeah, look at the success that they're having. We have not had one illegal immigrant released at the border in the last several months under the Trump administration. They have rescued tens of thousands of children from human and sex trafficking, and they have also been able to go after these cartels before they even get this dangerous deadly drug onto our land, onto our into our nation. And that's exactly what they should be doing. They should be going at proactive strikes and using all of the tools of our law enforcement, as opposed to wasting them on just attacking public, the enemies that they believe are their enemies, personal enemies, political enemies. We have got to be able to protect our borders. We've got to do this for national security, and that is where our resources should be focused. This administration is doing that. This Congress is doing that. That's exactly what we did with the Working Families Tax Cut bill. We gave the resources to Customs and Border Patrol that they needed to be able to do their job, and that's what they're doing with those resources. Instead of catch and release and opening up our borders, they're actually using it to secure our borders. And this is what Tom Homan has been saying all along. This is what Kristi Noem has been saying. If you actually enforce the laws that you've got in your books, you don't have to have a new law. And what they've seen is also 2 million people who have left our country, either been deported or have self-deported.
We've got to go. We're out of a show. Thank you so much for joining us.